Okay, so your child has received a Benik orthotic, model number W303. There's lots of extensions and additions that we put on the orthotic. One of them that we're going to talk about is going to be the Velcro closure. So you had the full Velcro closure. It's going to be along the ulnar side. And you also have the tri-glide Velcro closure that's going to go around the wrist. So the full closure, you're going to be able to close that down and just make sure that there's none of the hard Velcro touching the skin or exposed to where he could scratch himself easily. And then the tri-glide Velcro going around, just make sure that you put that on snug, but you don't want it to be too tight. So when you tighten it down, you should be able to slip a finger underneath of it. And if you can't put a finger under there, then it's too tight. It's probably going to cut off some circulation. So it should be snug, just not super tight. The stays that we put in here are made out of plastic. It's a thermoplastic, and the thermo just means that they are heat activated, which means that if you heat them up, they are not going to hold their shape. They're going to change shape. So you have to be really careful not to put this really close to a heat source or leave it in the car on a really hot summer day, just to protect and maintain the quality of the splint. So the stays that he's getting will be along the ulnar side, along the pinky side, and that's to bring his wrist back into neutral. And then he's getting one here in the web space to keep his thumb out. But the one that's here is a metal stay, and that's to keep his wrist up in neutral. I'm sorry, this is in midline, and this one's going to be up in neutral. The metal one, you just have to make sure that it stays inside of its pocket, and if you look inside, you don't see any of the stitching coming loose, and you don't see any metal exposed that would make contact with the skin. If that happens, then we need to get a new splint or repair this one. The wear schedule that we're going to look at. Oh, they also have a removable digit pan, or a volar pan. That's going to be worn only at night. So you're going to attach it, and will Velcro on there. You're going to attach it for nighttime use only, and that's to prevent him from keeping his fist closed all through the night, so that we can protect his joints and open up this palmar space and let it get some air. So those I do recommend that he wears every night. And because his tone is, when he's sleeping, he's not going to remember to try to open up his hands. So we really need to put a block in place. During the daytime, you can remove that volar pan and just have him use the orthotic for writing tasks, maybe for playing basketball or his video games. And he can kind of be a little bit more flexible with his wear schedule through the day. If he doesn't want to wear it all the time, if he's like, I just need a break from it, as long as he's not doing something functional, he can probably come out of them. So the wear schedule during the day can be a little bit more flexible, but at nighttime, when you put that volar pan back in place to keep his finger straight, you should put that on every night, and he should be wearing them every night. Some of the things that you're going to want to look for on a regular basis is skin integrity. You're going to make sure that you're checking over all of his bony prominences. You're going to check in like all of the little web spaces and anywhere else where it could just basically check everywhere. So you're going to want to look for redness or indentations that do not go away after 15 minutes. So after you take the splint off, start timing it if you see some redness and indentation. If it goes away and it's not so bad, a little pinkness and it goes away in 15 minutes is probably okay. That's just, some kids have different amounts of sensitivity to pressure and orthotics. The other thing that you're going to want to look for is to make sure that their nail bed isn't white. So if it's white, then you're probably cutting off circulation to the nail bed. And the way you can check that if you're not really quite sure is to just go ahead and push your finger into it. It should turn white and then come back to a nice pink color. If you don't see it turning white, if you don't see it changing color, it's probably already white, and that means they're putting too much pressure on the fingertips and they're not letting that capillary refill take place. You're also going to want to look for any degree of open skin, whether it is just, it looks like just a little rug burn or a shearing, or maybe even something that's a little deeper that you think needs a Band-Aid or some kind of covering on. That is a sure sign that you need to stop wearing the splint immediately and contact your occupational therapist. If you see a blister on there, you should also stop wearing your splint immediately or your orthotic immediately and contact your occupational therapist, because there's going to need to be some adjustments made. Other than that, I'm excited to try this with Charlie.